Oh hey, it's Thursday evening and I'm going to prepare some bouquets for tomorrow. I have a few things that are ready, but not really that much, so again, it's just scavenging for stuff. From this truck.
This first bouquet that I'm making is the same style that I made last week with lupin, blue bachelor buttons, and daisies, and then I threw in some raspberry greens. This style has sold really well for me, so if it ain't broke, you know what I'm saying? So we gave this a try again this week. I really liked how this next bouquet turned out this week, so I used the pink bachelor buttons and my snapdragons and my one foxglove that I had available, which was a really cute, like peachy pink color. I haven't seen that before, and I really was happy with that. And then I also used my one peony that bloomed, and you know, I heard from another flower farmer that as long as you don't cut super long stems on the first, second year peonies, you should be okay. So I just did it. Oops. Oh yeah, this also had mock orange and daisies in it too. Here's how they turned out, and I'm glad that I'm starting to have all the necessary ingredients, the spikes, the discs, and some fillers. And then I used some of my scraps and short stems to make this little mason jar arrangement, which I thought was kind of fun, but I'm not sure it was my best work.
Alright, it's Friday, I got the stand open and I had somebody message me asking for purple wedding flowers, and I originally had denied her last week because I really didn't think I would have any flowers, but she messaged me again today following up, and the request is purple. White is okay, and there's no particular style, but the style of the wedding is kind of hippie vibe. So I've gone out and I have foraged as many purple flowers as I can. I've got some white ones. I also went up into the woods and got some, I think this is wild heuchera, if I've identified that correctly, and then like some thimbleberry, berry pod things. And then the other thing that I'm going to try are petunias, because like I put petunias in my garden because I like them, and of course they're purple, thank the Lord. And but apparently they work okay as cut flowers, so I'm just going to give it a try. So I think I'm going to go like garden style. The other weird thing I've got here too is like blackberry florets, like, you know what, the flowers before they get the berries. So hopefully that'll be a good texture. I just tried to go like very ethereal, like lots of texture. She said daisies were okay, so we'll give that a shot. My mock orange, I have a double mock orange. It's very beautiful. So that should work. But yeah, I'm going to just try to make, I'm going to try to go like garden-esque style because I feel like that's a little more casual. So I'm trying to, you know, casual vibes. So we'll give it a shot. And she didn't say anything about a boutonniere, but I think I'll make one, just probably, you know, because people, you know, at least one. So I've never done wedding stuff before. Wish me luck. So before I get started, I'm going to go through and process everything, get any spent buds off or leaves that I don't need, so that it's really just ready to rock and roll. We'll start with this. The thing about daisies is they are bug magnets.
So I made a hand-tied bouquet and I started using the spiral method. So I started with a mock orange that's a little bit more of a sturdier material, and then I started adding daisies and cornflower and then all of the petunias, and just kept building from there. And so a few of the items that I didn't mention were Dusty Miller. That was a really nice bright accent. And then I also used some of my wallflower that I got earlier that still has a few purple buds on it. The challenge was to keep adding things but not smothering things that are already in there. So I did a lot of adjusting, making sure that I was trying to move up like the lupin and making sure that the focal flowers were really visible. And I wish I was able to make it a little bit more looser. It ended up a little bit too tight for my taste, but the stems were just a little too short on some of the flowers, so I couldn't really modify that at all. But I think it turned out really nicely, and I'm very happy with how I was able to forage all of this random stuff when I thought that I had no flowers available. So I'm pretty impressed with myself.
She wanted bigger. I think I made it bigger.
So I made the boutonniere using the scraps from the main bouquet, and it really feels like cheating, but that's how you do it. So I used some Dusty Miller, mock orange, a bachelor button right in the center, and then a couple of the heuchera for a little airy accent. And I think it turned out really nicely, and they'll be able to wrap their ribbon around there. So I'm really happy with how my bouquet turned out, especially given the fact that I thought I had no flowers available for them. So I am really impressed with myself, and I ended up charging $100 for the set. Let me know in the comments below what you think about how it turned out.
Yesterday I sold one bouquet, and so I just restocked, and I think this one's super cute. I used some of my little miniature roses that I have, and then some of that spirea that I bought that's still in the pot. But you know, I just cut a few, so it's okay. And then these are my snapdragons that I overwintered from last year when I started them from seed. They're kind of fun, red, yellowy ones. They're called Tetra. But yeah, I would say those are 3, maybe 4 weeks ahead of the ones that I winter sow. So we're also having a yard sale, and it's actually been very interesting to chat with people who are stopping by. So I've had a lot of older people stop by, but most of the people who I've chatted with have mentioned something about, oh yeah, it's a nice time to have a yard sale because the weather's finally good. But it's kind of not a nice time because the economy is not doing so well. With everything in the world and the economy going on, it's a really good idea to kind of revisit who your ideal customer is and whether these changes are going to impact them. You know, it may not be your flowers that people aren't liking. It may be that they just don't have a lot of extra money. So if you're targeting somebody who has a higher income, you know, maybe that's not such a big deal, but just something to think about. Alright, it's just after 4 and it's like 85 degrees, and that's pretty hot for here and for June. I sold one bouquet, and I sold it at a discounted price just because of the heat. It's kind of interesting. I really haven't had many people interested in flowers, and all of the people that stopped by the garage sale, which wasn't many, complained about not having money or really having specific things in mind. So I really feel that the economic conditions are what is contributing to slower sales, because like this, I think this is beautiful. I think this is prettier than a bunch of tulips, honestly. It smells wonderful. Like I'm kind of excited that I get to enjoy this inside, but very surprised that nobody would pay $15 for this. So I really do think that's a tell. For this, you know, I did half price off this. This was $10 and now it's $5 and really no interest at all. So I think it's going to be an interesting summer, but I'm very glad I finally have some flowers. Thanks so much for watching this week's video, and I'll see you next time.